good, my people? We're on like 2 different cameras, so I might be looking at different cameras, once for Instagram and once for Facebook. So if you see me looking away, that's the reason that is. So today is our first show with Moore with Devin, and each day we're going to be talking about different topics when it comes to mindset, nutrition, and fitness, and just giving my advice, things that I've learned, and how I've got to where I am today, and just bringing more value to you guys. So that's what this is going to be about today. So with today being about mindset, I thought to myself the best thing to start this off with is, what conceive, believe, achieve means, and like how I've been able to apply it in my life, and how possibly I can be able to bring some value to you guys and how you can do the same. To the point, it's actually written on the walls of my gym. It was something that was able to really allow me to take my life and change my mindset to a whole different kind of place. And so we're going to go ahead and get this started and kind of go over the details of what this means to me. So pretty much, conceive, believe, achieve, the way this all came about, I'll kind of give you guys a backstory with it. Probably about, like over 10 years ago, when I first started really getting into fitness and working out, I'll be in the gym, this place called Cardinal Fitness in Bloomington, Indiana. And I was super locked into like working out on a whole different kind of level. Really didn't know where I was going. I just knew that I wanted to be better. And the gym was a place that, brought a lot of, good energy to me. And, I was able to, get physically look better, mentally get, more confident. And, it was just a real positive environment for me to just like work on myself, and there was a guy in there, this guy named Fred. I saw him in the gym for probably over a year during that time period. Like whenever I was in there, he was in there. And, there'd be times when I see him working out up with this technique, didn't have any clue who he was. And one day he came up to me, he was like, hey man, like, next time, like, let's set up a time to meet in the gym and talk. So I'm like, all right, like, I come in the gym, we get on the cardio machine on a bike, and just, he's talking to me about like basically his life and where he started, how he got to where he is in life. And, come to find out this guy's, a multimillionaire. And, he says to me, like, kind of gives me this backstory about like, how his life was and how he overcame all these different obstacles. And then he pulled, out of his bag, this book called Think and Grow Rich. And he was like, man, someone gave me this book when I was in a place in my life where I wasn't really, making a lot of money, didn't have a lot of vision. And this book, was able to change my life. He said that you remind me a lot of myself. And so if you read this book, I think it, can bring some great value to you. So I'm like, man, think to myself, like, man, I'm going to check this out, see what's going on with it. This dude's a real successful person and, took the time to, bestow this knowledge to me and give me this book. So, I fully commit myself to reading it. And, in the book, basically, Napoleon Hill says, what the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. And, so from that space, man, what that really comes down to, man, in life, what I found is it's a lot of things that we want to do. It's a lot of things that we think about in our minds. And, a lot of times, though, we don't really believe within our hearts that we can achieve it. So one of the worst things that happens, and most people don't even realize that this is occurring, is like you have all these thoughts that really in your heart you don't believe, but you really think these things that you really, really want, but you don't get to a space of being able to believe. And, so it blocks you from being able to achieve, or it makes it more difficult and brings a lot of, resistance to your life. You're working super hard for something, but then on the contrary, you are, out of alignment with your belief system within your mind, whether it's things you've been through in your life or, just your own value system or things that you have, received from other people that takes you out of that space of really, really being able to believe. And, so that's what it comes down to. It's almost in some sense marrying your thoughts and your feelings together. And when you can marry your thoughts and feelings, you can amplify and make things happen in a much more profound way. And, so from that space, what I started to do is I would write down my thoughts and then write down my goals, like huge goals, like, things like having a gym, making 6 figures, winning the IFBB Pro card. And I would write these things down and I would read them every day. And, from that space, what starts to happen is, through me actually having a desire to move towards these goals, it kind of gave me direction. I was able to kind of get clear about things that I need to let go of, things that I need to align myself with. And I was able to see, moving down this path, like, what direction I should take. And, from that space, I started to realize like where my belief system really was. And it was kind of like a hard thing initially to write down these goals. And I feel like I was worthy. But little by little, I would read it over and over. And I started getting myself to just be enveloped in this system feeling of belief. And as though, these things were a reality. I had like a hoopty car. I would drive my car, imagining that I'm in, a luxury car. and had no evidence around me physically that these things were possible. But from this book, man, Think and Grow Rich, you know what I'm saying, I realized that, man, if I can like see it in my mind and feel it within my heart, you know what I'm saying, if I continue to move towards it, the things will start to manifest. And you know, from that space, you know, I got into that kind of mindset, and, you know, here I am, and I have my own gym, you know what I'm saying, I make 6 figures, and it's not even really about, I'm starting to see that it's not even about like, you know, the materialistic stuff in life, man. It's about, you know, finding something in your heart that you believe in, something that is part of your purpose, part of your passion, and moving towards it. And it doesn't really matter what other people think about you or how people feel. It's more so how you feel about yourself. You can have a million people around you that tell you need to do this or that and look at you in this negative way. But if you look at yourself and see yourself in a higher light, and you see the value within yourself, before you know it, man, you can get to where you want to be. So you don't have to have a lot of people believing in you. But what's the interesting thing about it is, man, the more you believe in yourself, the more you're going to find people around you that believe in you. And so more than anything, like I said, man, the biggest thing is, you know, getting clear about what you desire, getting clear about where you want to be, getting clear about who you want to become. And then you have to find a way to believe in yourself. That's probably the hardest thing. Like, a lot of us take action, and that action is not rooted in like a deep belief. But if you can get your belief system clear, the action even gets better. And then from there, you start to achieve your goals. And like, I would say maybe start off, you know, this conceive, believe, achieve, you know, mindset, you know, like I said, get clear in your mind about what you desire. And then from there, like, come up with some kind of small goal. And then, you know, find a way to believe in yourself in that kind of space. And then as time goes on, you'll be able to reach these even bigger goals. But what I would say, even bigger than that, is like, come up with a lofty goal. Come up with something that's huge. Like, I'm not trying to just continue to talk about like money and stuff like that, but I should think like, man, if I can make, you know, $10,000 a month before I die, if I can get to that kind of space, man, that'd be amazing. And now, you know what I'm saying, I've been able to exceed that. So I think to myself, like, I got to reach and think about even bigger goals than what I thought back, 10 years ago was something amazing. I got to think bigger. So a lot of times, man, we shortchange ourselves when it comes to what's possible for what we can actually do. And I've even seen, I got friends and people around me, man, like when they change their belief system, they've been able to change their life, do things that maybe they thought weren't possible. And but I will say, yeah, you don't have to have people around you that believe, but if you can get a group of people who are in alignment with you, you know what I'm saying, and like they believe the same way that you believe, y'all can all get on the same page. It's not like, and let's just kind of give an example or like an analogy of some sense. Let's just say, I got 1 million thoughts in my mind, and then there's a person that believes in me. We're on the same page. They got 1 million thoughts in their mind. It's not 2 million thoughts. It's 1 million times 1 million thoughts. So if you can get around people, almost kind of like a mastermind group of people who believe, there's no resistance, there's no hating, there's no jealousy, just everybody's coming together as one, you know what I'm saying, as a union, you know what I'm saying, from that space, you can take that energy and amplify it and do things that, a lot of people would think that it's almost impossible. And so that's basically, if you look at almost any of my posts, it says what conceive, believe, achieve. And I say what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And because our minds are so powerful. And so many times we get filled up with fear. We get filled up with stories that don't serve us, things that are not in alignment with what we desire, and we hold on to them. And we almost kind of get into a victim mindset. And just because something is true, on the outside, doesn't mean that you got to buy into it. You can change the thoughts in your mind just because your family has been through this, or you from the hood, or, people have treated you bad because of things you can't control. You don't got to hold on to that. You can create a new story in your mind. You can start seeing yourself in a new kind of way. And if you do that, you will show yourself what's possible in this world. And we all have been given a mind, and a mind that we are allowed to think with. And you can think it, and I promise you, man, if you can learn to find a way to believe within yourself, and it takes practice. It takes you having to, many times face the darkness within you, the things that you, feel bad about within yourself, the things that you maybe have done, things that you feel unworthy, in reference to your experiences. You got to face that stuff and, understand it and then grow it. And it can, what was meant to be, your harm will be your stepping stone and be a testimony. But you got to face it and move towards it and allow yourself to, see a new vision and, teach yourself to have like a positive mental attitude, when things are tough, continually maintaining that faith. And even in that book, it talks about, faith is belief in action. So, you know what I'm saying? Like if you got faith, you got to move towards it. You can't just, sit around and hope. You got to start taking action, and it's okay if you fail. You know what I'm saying? Failure many times is the key to you gaining that wisdom so you can succeed. Only place that, in life where, failure is like a huge, horrible thing is in school. If let's say you got 4 tests in school and you fail 1 or 2 of them, there's no way you're going to be able to get an A most likely. Probably no way that you almost even get a B. But in life, you can fail 1,000 times. And then from that 1,001 time, you get it right and you become a multimillionaire. You become like a success story. So, you just got to find that faith within yourself and be able to merge your thoughts with your beliefs. And like I have said, what I have found is the biggest thing that's stopping people from really, really getting to where they want to be is their belief is not in alignment with their thoughts. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who are very theoretical, but then within their own hearts, the thing that's within them, they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they can do it. And if you can get those thoughts and beliefs in alignment, and it takes practice, no different than working out, no different than any kind of skill set that you learn. A lot of times in this world, most people haven't learned to have a positive mental attitude and really, really believe in themselves to that degree. And like if you find, you gotta start speaking life into yourself. You gotta start speaking the affirmative. You can't talk about what you don't want. You gotta focus on what you do want. And if you get yourself in alignment with that and practice that, I promise you will start to see the evidence in your life. You know what I'm saying? And these changes will start to occur. And like I said, it's not so much about monetary gain and just fame or people looking at you in a certain kind of way, but those things will come where you can have a life of prosperity and freedom. You know what I'm saying? I'm a person that, my mom had me when she was 15 years old and, came from a bad background in my life. And, but I learned how to make a new story for myself and see a new vision for myself. And it took practice. It took a lot of effort and, me getting out of my comfort zone and finding a way to believe in myself. But I saw this vision and I had faith that it was possible. So, a lot of times, I quit my job. You know what I'm saying? And there was no plan B. If I didn't make it, then hopefully, my employers would have took me back. But, you know what I mean? The biggest thing was, I had to make this happen. And, through me I saw the vision in my heart, this is what I'm meant to do. And I believed that I could do it. And, I took those steps and took those actions and I felt the fear and, overcame it. And, here I am today and, you know what I'm saying? I'm a father, got a good kid, got a good life. And, I see many more blessings coming to my life. And I want to share this energy with you guys and let you see that, man. It doesn't really matter where you start. It doesn't matter what happened to you in your past. It matters where you are right now and what you choose to think moving forward, what decisions you choose to make in the future, you know what I'm saying, in this now. So, that's pretty much, I haven't really explained that story and, with words on the internet, even though for so many years, every single one of my posts, if you just go look at my posts on Instagram, look at my posts on Facebook, on every one of them, there's a hashtag conceive, believe, achieve, and it says what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. So I hope that I was able to bring some value to you guys today and help you be able to see and understand that as well. And that book, once again, is called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And but more than anything, if you don't want to buy the book, I just challenge you to start speaking life within yourself, seeing yourself in a better way. You know what I'm saying? Start speaking what you want versus what you don't want. And the simple task, write down your goals. You know what I'm saying? The big goals, the little goals. And then you got to read those goals. You can't talk about and speak and write it down as though it already is. Write it down as though you already are that. And you got to read it. Read it every single day. In the morning time, in the midday, in the afternoon. And before you know it, it's something called auto-suggestion. The more you read something, it goes into your subconscious mind. And then it becomes kind of part of the way you think without actually having to be aware of it. And you just got to get your mind in a space, your body in a space, your spirit in a space of abundance and of achievement. And from there, man, I think that, almost anything is possible if that's what you really want. So. As I always say, what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. I appreciate you guys being on, this live with me and taking that time to hear this story. And I hope that it could, bring some value to you guys as well. So, you guys have a great day. And like I always say, what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. All right, peace, guys.